Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world, or good evening, anyway. This is Mr. Shakespeare again with the ever-present Liz Cross, psychic medium and a remote viewer. How are you doing today, Liz?
Ever-present? That's that's funny to me because most of what I do is where people are not present. So yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. It's a good morning here. School started back this week. It's been a little hectic. Just a couple of announcements. First of all, I will be going on Coast to Coast. I don't have a date yet. I'm going to go on some other shows. I'll let you guys know. Second of all, sign up for the newsletter. Don't forget to like and subscribe this YouTube channel. You go to the website, psychiclizcross.com. You can book reading, CTT session, sign up for the newsletter and CTT group. So that's the big announcement. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to do a bunch of readings today. I'm going to take my my lead from actually the Discord, your Discord group, and I'm going to try and cover as many and group together as many questions off the Discord that I can. So we're going to start with Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
He's the Speaker of the House. And for some unknown reason, which we hope to find out, she thought she'd go on a little trip. And she thought she'd enter Taiwan. So have you got a connection with her?
I do. I do have a connection with her. What would you like to know?
Why did you go to Taiwan?
Why did you go to Taiwan? To negotiate some deals and what? To show we mean business.
Is this to do with anything to do with semiconductor chips or anything like that? Those kind?
Is this to do with semiconductor? No, this is strictly political.
Oh, so are you going there as a representative of the US government?
Are you going as a representative of the US government? Yes, and to show force.
Okay, but you also went to other countries there as well, didn't you? Why were you going to these other countries? Singapore and places, Malaysia and places like that?
Why did you go to the other countries? It was in order to, now I don't understand what she's saying by this. Maybe you understand. In order to increase the flow of business. So I believe, right, what she's trying to say here is that she went to these other countries for business reasons. But what she's telling me is her trip to Taiwan, the whole motive actually changed.
Did it change en route? Did it change when she got there, or when did it change?
About 2 or 3 days before. And they were going to cancel. This is when I'm doing these mind probes for anybody new listening. I know we have a lot of new listeners at the moment. When I'm doing these mind probes, these are today's personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions of Nancy Pelosi on today's date, which I believe is what, August the 3rd? August the 3rd, 2022. Yes, so the motive changed. They took she's saying perceived threat.
Okay, but how did it change? I mean, was her original mission different to what it ended up to be?
Was your original mission different to what it ended up to be? Yes, very different now.
What was her original mission?
What was your original mission? To ease the business flow, to ease the cash flow.
Is this to do with anything to do with her personally, or American firms or corporations? I mean, what exactly?
Is this your personal business? No, it's a no on the personal business. Is this to do with American firms? The American economy. Is this to do with American corporate firms? Yes, there's been a lot of complaints out of that region from corporations. So she has gone to see like what the problem is. There's a lot of problems with cash flow. So it seems like American businesses are paying a lot of money for services that are not being rendered. And she wants to make sure that there's policies in place, government policies to ensure that these services are being rendered. So like a checks and balance system, accountability system. Right now, she's telling me it's like a free-for-all.
Okay. So she says that the operation changed 2 or 3 days ago. What is the operation now that she's boots on the ground? Now she's there.
What is the operation now? Your boots on the ground. To show a visible presence that the U.S. stands with Taiwan.
Okay. Most people in the world believe that Taiwan is part of China. Very few countries have actually recognized it. Including the US doesn't actually recognize it as anything other than part of China. What does she think about that?
What do you think about the fact that most countries in the world view Taiwan as part of China? No, she says that's bogus. Are you planning to recognize Taiwan as a separate? They want to. They want to recognize recognize Taiwan as separate from China. Well, do you believe that's going to alter tensions or create Yes, it will create tensions with China. But at this point, I don't think she cares.
Okay.
Personally, her personal thought, feeling, and opinion, she doesn't care.
Right. Does she intend to step down after the midterm elections?
You tend to step down. That's funny to her. Are you going to step down? No, they would have to kill me first.
Okay. Okay. Obviously, China are not happy about her presence there. Did she not take any of that into consideration, or does she not worry about that? Or did she not worry about that?
Do you not worry about China being upset? No, she doesn't care.
Okay.
A bit of a loose cannon, not very diplomatic. I don't know why they sent her.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand either, because she is part of the government as such, although she's Speaker of the House. She's not part of the executive branch, but if it was just a trade thing, why didn't they send a trade representative? Or, why such a high profile person? That's what most people don't understand.
Let's ask why such a high profile person? Because the job needed to get done. So here you go. She's saying to me, you needed to be forceful. If we just send diplomats diplomats rarely get the job done. They negotiate for years on end. What about a trade representative? No, same thing. A trade representative would just negotiate, and never get the job done. That's why she went over. They have received a lot of complaints. In the US, what she's telling me is we have a system for international businesses to complain against US businesses, and something is done. These businesses are investigated. These complaints are taken seriously, but over there's no such real system in place to do so. That's why she's gone over. Right.
Did the Taiwanese president arrange this meeting?
Did the Taiwanese president arrange this meeting? No, I feel like it was arranged by the U.S.
Okay. It seems to have caused a lot of problems, a lot of internet chatter. Is she aware that what the Chinese have been doing, encircling Taiwan while she's there?
Are you aware what the Chinese have been doing circling Taiwan over there? She doesn't care about that. She really does not care. I I've probed her before, and that's consistent with Nancy Pelosi. She really has zero empathy. I mean, zero. And there was another thing that we probed her on, and I can't remember now. It was a while ago, and she didn't care about that either. That's one thing I found consistent with her. She really does not care of the damage that she can cause or may cause, and she's just zero empathy completely.
Okay, ask her if what happens as a result of her visit after she's gone, that China imposes more sanctions or problems or anything on Taiwan, or does things like that. I mean, in other words, the Taiwanese people are actually end up being worse off. Businesses end up being worse off as a result of her visit.
What do you think if Taiwanese businesses and people become worse off because of your visit? She doesn't believe that they will. I mean, you're talking, listen, I've done a lot of CTT sessions and on a lot of addicts, and a lot of addicts are narcissists. I'm not saying she's an addict, but I'm saying she is coming through to me as a textbook narcissist, right? Does not care what the ramifications are of her visit whatsoever. She's right all of the time. It's all her all of the time. She's always right. It's just, that's what's coming through. And by God, if you ever stand in her way, she is going to make mincemeat out of you.
Right. But the fact of the matter is that as a result, after she's gone, whenever she leaves, things could actually be worse for what she came for than it could actually have a detrimental effect on businesses and things like that. I mean,
do you care that it may have a detrimental effect? No, she says the U.S. will stand by Taiwan.
Okay.
So in other words, I wonder if they're provoking China on purpose.
Ask her.
Oh, good. Okay. Are you provoking China on purpose? No, this is just, this was a business visit initially. Now it's now a visit based upon principle and who is the strongest will. You know what I mean? Like, who can take the strongest stand? What happens if this provokes a war of China and Taiwan? We'll stand with Taiwan. So it is her firm belief that we will stand with Taiwan.
Okay. What happens? The Chinese are taking this very badly. They believe that her visit is purely to provoke the situation with them.
The Chinese people believe that this is purely to provoke a situation with them. It was prearranged. And then she's telling me it was prearranged. And then it was their reaction to this prearranged visit that has caused this stir and caused the motivation. She became more determined. Now, there was a point where it was going to be canceled, but they've gone ahead and decided to go. Right. But she's saying that she can't control China's reaction to her visiting Taiwan. That's their problem.
Well, that is true. She cannot control it. Her visit originally should have happened in June, but she had COVID, didn't she?
Yes, but they also thought that she was being, so from her personal thought, feeling, and opinion, what is coming through is they probably saw that as a polite way to bow out, right? Oh. But obviously we were telling, she's like, we were telling the truth. I wasn't able to go. It was rescheduled. And then she's like, what happened once you rescheduled? Did is China found out, but then still thought that it wouldn't go ahead. And once she really got on the plane and she was out there, that's when tensions got high. Does it not bother you that you've increased these tensions? No, it doesn't bother her at all.
Okay. Right. Okay, that's pretty much all we need to know. We can finish that one there. Thank you.
Okay, and if anybody wants to add or has additional questions, then just drop a line on the Patreon, message me through Patreon. You can find the Patreon at Remote Viewing and Beyond. And you also get Discord benefits. Again, my website, psychiclizcross.com. You can contact us through there. You can sign up for the CTT newsletter and also CTT groups on that webpage. So thank you very much, Mr. Shakespeare, and we will shut this one down and on to the next video.